Hello, XR Innovation Bootcamp. My name is Chizari Bakama, and this will be a rerun of the Introduction to Spark AR session that was had on Saturday. So, if we didn't finish the session, but I will be starting from scratch so everyone can follow along if they miss any of the steps. So, the first step is to add our assets to the assets panel. So, let me show you what the assets panel are and what other panels are in Spark AR Studio interface. This is the scene panel at the top left. This is where all your objects and trackers will be added. This is the assets panel. This is where your 3D objects, this is where your pictures, your sprites, your audios will be added. They are the assets panels, like a big folder. In the middle right here is the viewports. Let me make this smaller. The viewport is kind of like a playground for all the objects and trackers you have for you to see them as they are being used. This is the simulator, this rectangle, and this is used to preview your effects as you make them on different types of devices. And the last is the inspector panel at the right hand side. This is where you can make more detailed manipulations and get more options for your trackers and your objects. So let's get started. The first step is to import your assets from your computer. So, or you can get assets from the assets library. Depending on where you get your assets from, you always want to import them into Spark AR Studio. So let's import from computer. In the assets panel here, import from computer. If you've downloaded the resources, import them. Open. You've now imported your assets into Spark AR Studio. Since we are creating a face tracking effect, we will need to add a face tracker. So in the scene panel, click on the plus button and then click on face tracker and then insert it. You can see that the user's face has been recognized and is tracked. You can see the XYZ axis thingy that's moving with the movements of the user's face. Then with the face tracker selected, we're going to add a face mesh. Since you want to add a face paint that is going to be pasted directly on the user's face, you want a mesh that is going to follow the contours of the face just as the user's face is. So we're going to add a face mesh, and that face mesh is going to be a child of the face tracker. So with the face tracker selected, right click. It's important to right click and then add objects. Click on add object. Then in the list, in the drop down, click on face mesh. Face mesh. You can see now that there is a checkerboard material on the face of the user that follows you can see that it follows the contours of our face. So we know that we've now added a face mesh. But we can't leave it like this. What we're going to do is to add a material and then a texture. What are materials and textures? Materials make up the body of whatever object you're using. So the material we'll add now will make up the body of this face mesh. Is the skeleton. It's a what gives it substance really. So instead of just having a thin checkerboard material that means nothing, a material is what will give it form. And then the texture is the skin. So with the skeleton being the material being the skeleton, we place the texture on top of the material, and that's what we see. So it becomes that's the skin. We can make it any color, any design. We can add the 2D texture we add, this XR face is what will make the skin for this face mesh, and then that's what will give us the doodle design that we wanted on the face. So with the face mesh selected, let's rename it doodle underscore mesh. When the face mesh selected, we'll add a material. So we're going to add a skeleton to the body of the face mesh. Material added. When you add materials, you see them in the assets panel. Rename this material doodle mat. It's good to rename your materials as you work so that you can easily find them, so you won't just get material 0, material 1, material 2. So when we rename that, we're going to, you can see that the checkerboard material is gone and now we have this grayish material. So materials have shader types and they define what kind of how they react to light, their thickness. Just determines what kind of skeleton basically it has. Since we are creating a face paint, we want something that sticks to the face and doesn't really react to light like that. So we are going to, in the shader type of the doodle mat, we're going to change it from standard to face paint. You see, this is much thinner and you can see the user's face clearly and everything. So since we've changed it to face paint, the shader type to face paint, we're going to add the texture, that's of the the skin of the material. So in the texture panel here, in the texture button or underneath the doodle mat, we are still on the same material. We'll select the drop down and then click XR face 01. You can see that we've added the face paint that we wanted. So this is like we're almost done with the filter. So with there are other options here. You can increase the opacity or transparency to whatever you like. The background influence. This doesn't show much here, but if you had a more complicated texture, you'd see how much it sticks or morphs itself to the user's face. And then you can increase or decrease brightness. So this looks more fun. So there's this. Now that we are done with the face paint, we are going to add the rectangle that we needed, the extra rectangle that we'll use as a sticker. So in the scene panel, we'll add the rectangle. Click search for rectangle and then insert. It automatically comes under a canvas. Canvases are for 2D objects basically. So rename it XR underscore rect. So in order to it's better to manipulate 2D objects in the viewport in the 2D mode. So in the viewport here, go to viewport and beside it you have mode, edit 2D objects. Click on the drop down, edit 2D objects. So it's easier to access them here. So click on the rectangle, you can just select rectangle and then you can stretch it however you like. But then this is what we're going to do. So we've created the rectangle now. So the next step is to create a material that's like give it a skeleton. So what do? In the XR rectangle, we click on it. Then we go to the inspector panel and add a material plus to add material. This is the old material. We do not add that. We create a new material. Again, we see material 0 in the materials panel. So we're going to rename that to XR mat, XR underscore mat. So with that selected, we're going to choose a shader type. We're not going to choose a face paint for this shader type. Since we just want it to be a sticker, a flat image, we're going to change the shader type from standard to flat. So once we've done that, the next step is to give it a skin. Don't just want a white rectangle on our screen. So the skin is the texture, the top left picture, because this is at the top left. So we go to texture in XR mat. Make sure XR mat is selected. Go to texture and then in the drop down choose top left picture. So you see, we've done that. So the filter is now completely created and what's left for us is to publish. Before publishing is it's good for you to record a preview video and test what the filter looks like on your phone. So in this panel at the left, you go to test on device, add an experience, because need, and then let's add experience. Sharing experience is for people to capture videos, record videos, and then share them on their stories or in posts. So insert and then done. Then go back, test your device, test on device, then send to your Instagram or Facebook account. Or if you have the Sparkr player downloaded, you can send to that. When you send, it will upload to Sparkr Hub and then you can record a video. When you record that video, save it because for you to publish any experience on Sparkr Hub, you need a demo video. So save that video. That's what you upload to Sparkr. Next is to publish. So click on publish. Make sure your file size is meet the requirements, the capabilities are okay. Then upload. This will automatically open in your browser, open Spark and open your browser, and then that's it. Let's go to the browser now. So now that the effect has opened in our browser, first step is we are now in Spark Hub. Then first step is to give it a name. So let's call it XR Bootcamp Abuja. Then it's already uploaded. The file has already been uploaded. Then you can choose what platforms you want, whether you want it to be published on all platforms or specific. You can choose whether you don't want Facebook or Instagram, any apps of your choice. Let's choose all platforms. Then existing media, you can allow people on Instagram. This is only for Instagram. Use your effects on photos or videos that they've already taken. Next step is to add a category. The different categories, and then this helps people find your effect better. So this is a selfie. I think it's funny, so funny, and then it's for XR bootcamp. So let's say events. So you can add keywords so that people can find your effects better. Let's say XR bootcamp. If you search for XR bootcamp, you'll find that. Then let's say doodles. It's funny. Next is when I said you should try your video, try your effect on your phone. You're supposed to try your effect on your phone so you can get a demo video for Sparker Studio. So when you've already tried that and tested, you download the video and then you have to upload it here for it to be approved. So choose file, let's this and then you wait for it to finish uploading to Sparker Hub. Then you can choose an icon, use Sparker video thumbnail or upload an image. I would prefer to use the thumbnail, but you can upload any image of your choice. Well, let's upload an image. So choose file, let's output camp. Then you can add, if you work with anybody, you can add them as collaborators. Next step is publication dates. You can set a time and date, or you can publish as soon as possible. Then this takes a while sometimes. Your demo video should not be longer than 15 seconds. Okay, the icon has uploaded, so let's copy it. Confirm. Your demo video should not be longer than 15 seconds, and then when you're done, it will be fully uploaded to Sparker Hub. Then you go down and then you submit.